Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the third episode of the Kickback Lounge,
Fourth,
right? What?
fourth,
Third?
I think fourth.
They all jamming together. You know what I'm
Fourth,
saying?
gotta be fourth, bro. Gotta be
Either
fourth.
way, it's a continual knowledge bait. We trying to give. We trying to give knowledge. Well, not really knowledge, just our opinion on things. But
I'm just
today,
clarifying right now. Go ahead. I'm just clarifying what episode we
hey
on.
man, stop interrupting me. God dang, that's like your signature thing, bruh. Anyways, today we're gonna be getting to something that's near and dear to me, real close. I mean, this is a tough one for me. Some men, most men, I guess. I don't know if some men have problems with this, but I know I do. So let's get into it. Why it's so hard for men to pretty much express their emotions. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about my brother over there. I don't know what he got going on with his emotions. He's probably tuned in. He probably shares them as they come. I don't know. But me, I'm a little iffy when it comes to getting down with speaking how I feel to certain people. You know what I'm saying? How about you, man?
Well, that's. What do you mean though by like expressing your emotions to your significant, your
Well,
wife,
we can
brother,
talk
or
about,
just
we
in
can
general?
talk about your loved ones. We can talk about that at work because I know it's different places where I try to really like in my house. Definitely with my wife now, speaking with you, speaking with others, learning the Bible. It's like with my wife, it's definitely trying to express more emotion, but trying to get it into a good way to say it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Instead of just because I used to be just all out, tell it how it is, and that's it. I don't try to sugarcoat nothing, but now I'm not sugarcoating it, except I'm wording it different where it's not making her emotions flare. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And her having something to come back with. So that's the what I'm doing right now. But it's pretty much just significant otherwise. That's that. But at work, I definitely try to reel in my emotions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like especially, and I always say, I say this all the time. Wherever I'm at, I can only speak on my experiences and what I'm going through and what's in my community. So I'm gonna always make sure I clarify that. But
This nigga talking about his community.
in the black and brown community, that's what I know.
Bro, everybody shares the same emotions.
No, well, sure, but I'm just saying, like, I don't never want to like feel like I can. Uh, how can I say this? I don't ever want to feel like I can say I know what's going on in another situation or something I never knew nothing about. I got like in the black and brown community. I lived that. I went through that. I experienced that, so I can speak on that. In the black and brown community, it's hard for the black and brown man to express his feelings and emotions to anybody because we've been raised and programmed to dang on just be tough, masculine, and like show no emotion. You know what I'm saying?
Some
So,
men,
huh?
some men are actually very in tune with their emotional side. They'll let all
Well,
their emotions be
that's
known.
that's some men are, but what I'm speaking on is majority of the men in the black and brown community. That's what, like I'm saying, I can only, like I said, I can only speak on that. Okay, so I was raised to be a man. You be tough. You know what I'm saying?
So very few emotions.
You be strong. You know what I'm saying? You stand up for yours. You know what I'm saying? Just everything that would show you, would teach you to have no emotions towards just about any situation. Just go about it as a man and handle it as a man. Now, when it goes to expressing those feelings and emotions to someone else, we don't have an outlet. We like most men in the black and brown community don't have a person to vent to. They don't have somebody to go to where they can get that stress and you know what I'm saying, emotions, and they can't get that
You're
stuff off
right,
their chest.
because
That's why they carry a big burden of a whole bunch of stress and frustration.
you're right, because pretty much when it comes to knock it back. Well, you pretty much close to my age. Our age group, our homeboys, pretty much. You ain't about to go there and start telling them what's going on in your life.
No,
Like you ain't about to be like, man, me and my wife going through things, bruh.
yeah,
You ain't about to do that. You just about to be like, nigga, ain't nothing going on. We good. And just keep going
or,
about your business.
or just keep it very nonchalant. Like, man, she tripping. Are we going through a little bit?
Oh yeah, yeah. She
Oh,
tripping, yeah. So That's tough, but why is that hard? Why do you find that hard? Well, I don't know if you went through a period of time like that in your life, but why do you find it hard to pretty much do that?
That's what I'm saying. It is looked at from your peers and people in our community as a weakness.
Mm.
Like, bro, you crying over that, bro? Like, bro, you know how many like I'm like this. Say you're emotionally going through it because you and your significant other, girlfriend, wife, whatever you want to call it, y'all going through some things and you feeling some type of way about it or whatever. If you go to your homies and be like, bro, man, like, and just like show your emotions, have a tear come down, they're gonna be like, bro, I know you ain't crying over this girl.
So weak,
Yeah, bro, like you don't get to cry, baby. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's gonna be like. And that's what it's gonna be like in our community because it's like they're gonna be like, bro, you know how many fish out here in the sea, bro? You out here tripping over this, man. You better go on here, bro. All these da woo woos out here. And then like I'm saying, like in another community, and I'm talking about from just movies, you would look at it like, all right, so if a guy that's not in the black and brown community would do that, their friends would be like, supporting him, like, I can't believe she did this to you, and
I can't believe you did you, man.
She broke your heart, man, and we're gonna go out and we're gonna go do this and that, and we're gonna support you. But that's not how it's gonna be in our community. So that's why I'm saying we lack that support from our fellow black and brown friends, men. So we don't show those emotions, man. So we hold that stuff in, and then next thing you know, here comes the frustration, here comes the stress, the depression, and then we just going around and we're hurting more and more of our own people and hurting more and more of our own women because
that
hurt people.
I get it. That doggone your emotions get so compressed that you start taking it out with the worst emotion, which is anger.
Yeah.
When you let that anger out against anybody, that's just a bad deal because you're hurting, like you just said, you're hurting everybody now. You coming through hurting everybody. So I think that's the thing we really need to. That's the emotion I think people need to dial back instead of, because I think about my kid and pretty much how I talk to him. Like he do something, I'll be like, bro, if you don't quit that weak stuff, man, or stop doing that weak junk. And I think about it, I'm like, all these things I'm listening to now is like, that's not the way to do it.
No, it's not.
You're supposed to allow them to have that moment to pretty much get that out their system to grow from it. So I don't know what made our parents back then kept doing it instead of going that way, instead of trying to break that mold and change it. You know what I'm saying? Because the information was out there. It's just we never went to seek it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things that continuously trickle down from generation to generation.
Generation curse.
You're going to teach your son, or you're going to teach the young man to be tough. Don't show no emotions. If you get hit, get back up, hit again. Not saying, hey, you might feel something might happen in life where it's going to take you down. It's going to break you down. You just got to get back up. Sit in that moment forever. How long you got to sit in that moment, but make sure you get back up. Just don't sit there. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times, like I said, that the fact that, what I'm saying, we as men hold those emotions in and don't be able to vent to someone. We actually take that frustration out, like you said, in anger, but also in ways of just saying things. For instance, you could be hurt from, and I'm going to speak on just relationships. You can be hurt in your relationship. Maybe your, like I said, wife, girlfriend, significant other, whatever you want to call it, maybe did something and it hurt you. Instead of you actually expressing that hurt to her because you don't want to show her that you're weak or that bothered you, oh, you hurt my feelings. You don't want to say that. That's really tough for, I think, a man to say because of how he was raised.
Yeah.
You will say, you'll call her out of her name or disrespect her because you're hurt. You feel what I'm saying? Or because, what I'm saying, you feel some type of way, whatever the situation is. And that cycle just continues. And you just tearing down the woman, and the woman at that point would just be able. It just won't be a good situation because she'll eventually end up tearing you down because that emotion that you never let out is going to just sit there and tear the whole thing up. And as far as kids, as far as kids, like you were just mentioning your kid, you're just pretty much, you would be beating down your kid because you're not allowing them to, like you said, express yourself, express that emotion. for even if it's a brief, quick second. Like, all right, you cried already, shake it off, get up, and keep moving. But I'm saying that's seriously, that's what you should do. You know what I'm saying? He cried.
I feel that's the right way. I feel like I feel that's the right way. But once again, the people that's smarter than me said that's not the right way to do it.
That's the right way to do it. That's the right way to do it. Because if you allow yourself to be over, like if you allow your emotions to just control your situation, then at that point you know what I'm saying, you should never allow your emotions to you should never make decisions based on emotions. You should always think things through. So you should always.
You shouldn't, but it's one big emotion that everybody forget about, and it's the biggest one. I feel like men's pride. It's not that's like something. A man's pride is probably the worst thing. Yeah. Matter of fact, not just a man, a woman's pride as well. That's probably like the worst thing to have and put in our DNA is pride, because that's going to make you be like, oh, what you said? Oh, well, okay, bet. Well, F you, bump you. Like, you know, then the verbal start. And then if you that guy or you that type of female, you're going to push it further to revenge and get back. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I believe with pretty much just that anger, then it's going to come to pride. And when pride comes in, I think that's going to tear everything down. Even with the kid, like if a kid be crying, you be like, man, shut up, suck it up, man, get up, get going about your business. That kid, that's your pride just being like, heck nah, man, my kid ain't gonna be weak. Like instead of just saying like, yo, talking to him, understanding, pretty much sharing your emotions, you know what I'm saying? Letting it out. So I think that what it boils down to for me. Like my pride is not gonna let me, you know, let my emotions slither in and pretty much actually handle the situation how it should be handled. It's just my pride. So I believe that's 95% of men, truthfully. Well, I'll give it 85. I'm gonna give it a little percentile that's just nice and calm, good fellas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that pride, man, that's solely based off your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Your pride is only gonna be your beliefs, what you believe in, and what you've been taught. So not speaking on a relationship, just speaking on a man's pride. Like if this pride can be pretty much in anything. Say you got financial problems and you got somebody who wants to step in and give you a hand. We was taught as men and your beliefs.
Yeah.
And you gotta do it yourself. You feel what I'm saying? That's when that pride steps in. That what you was taught, we gotta do it ourselves. Nah, I'm good. I'm okay. Not instead of just saying, nah, man, you know what? I need a hand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I appreciate it. I'll make sure you get this back, blah, blah, blah. A lot of times that puts men and people in situations where they lose out on opportunities in life, career opportunities, whatever the case may be, simply because we was taught to believe that as a man, you got to do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, show no weakness.
Sink or swim. You're gonna sink or swim by yourself, or nobody else around. You're gonna be with it. You're gonna do it yourself.
Yeah. That pride is big, bro. That's something that I had to. I still deal with it. I still deal with it now.
I'm about to say that's something, boy.
But I actually started opening up a whole lot, you know, over as my course of my life as I got older. But pride was real big for me too. Like I would never accept anything from anybody because it was like, hey, I got to go get this on my own. If I take something from you, you're going to be looking something back in return for me. And if I can't return it, then I got to have you throw that in my face. And I don't want nobody throwing nothing in my face. You feel what I'm saying? That's why a lot of times too, a lot of men, if they even need help, that pride steps in and say, hey, they only doing this because they're going to want something back in return. So if they do something for you, they're going to throw it in your face if you're not able to return it. So, I mean, I've dealt with that situation too. So it was situations where I was like, no, I can do it myself. And really I needed help. And I wouldn't say I need help. I just like, hey, I can do it myself. So I had to go through the trials and tribulations of hell and back just because I didn't want to get a hand. You know what I'm saying?
Get that helping hand. Yeah,
helping hand. So yeah, that's tough. I like this topic. This is a good topic. men and expressing their emotions, like you said, I think that key word and that key one was pride, and I think that steps in.
I'm
Like
not saying that's hard, man, because I'm thinking about so many situations going through my head right now where I've been like, nah, they ain't going down like that. Nah, you ain't about to say that to me. Just nothing but pride, bro. Like every situation you feel like went wrong in your life, you can take it back to that one thing right there, pride.
So, what do you think though? What do you think is what do you think needs to change? You know what I'm saying? In order for someone to be like, okay, look, I can express myself. You know what I'm saying? Is it that one individual, or is we just need to, as men that know right now, we need to just make sure we teach and educate the next generation
I definitely think, like right now, I think the men that's pretty much like up in age that's stuck in their ways, they're going to be stuck in their ways.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, you can change, but unless you got true faith in God and you trying to turn your way self that way, yeah, you stuck in your ways, brother. But it's definitely for the people that's actually like our generation and the next one. Like we gotta pass it down and then be like, look, don't be like this. Like with me, I see my father. My father is a very prideful, stubborn guy. He prideful and stubborn. Same, bro. The most stubborn man I ever seen. And he got so many problems, but he the most prideful man I ever met. So many problems. But he's not gonna let nobody tell him, like, nah, I don't need no help. I'm good. I'm gonna go out my way. And I seen that and be like, okay, I ain't gonna be that way. Yeah. So I'm gonna pass that on to my young man and be like, yo, look, don't do you see that right there? That's the example not to follow. If you see me do something like that, do not follow that example. Because I believe that's the biggest thing. You point out, like you tell the youth, like, hey, you see what if you see me doing something bad, hold me accountable for it. Say, hey, look, you ain't taught me that. Why are you doing that? And then that should actually, like, holding each other accountable. I just now told my young boy pretty much same thing. Like, bro, you see me around here cussing or something around the house, you come and step in and be like, yo, we're not supposed to do that. But once again, I don't know. If I'm angry, my pride might just be like, shut up, go in your room or something like that.
At that point, you gotta check yourself.
It's like you always say in almost every video, self-evaluating.
Self-evaluating. You gotta do it.
I believe that's another big part of pretty much you growing and killing pride. Every time you feel like you about to say something crazy, you need to step back from the situation, evaluate yourself, and know what your goal is, and pretty much just come back, approach it in a different way.
Yeah, for sure. What I'm saying?
My whole motto right now is kill everything with kindness. But that's like my biggest emotion I want to have right now is love. I want to just love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the big, because that's another thing that was lacked as you like to say in the Black and brown community. Yeah. Fathers never came and come here, boy, give me a hug. Like tuck you in good night, give you a kiss on the forehead. Like none of that stuff. But
it's a sign of weakness. It's a sign of weakness.
It's a sign of weakness. But at the same time, some people need that. Because I'm pretty sure your son, you probably like now you just like you said, you're starting to do that more.
Well, let's put it this way. It's not a sign of weakness. We were taught
it was a sign of weakness. Yeah.
It was a sign of weakness. It's actually very beneficial.
It's good for self-esteem, bro. And that's when, bro, that's great. This is so crazy. This really is a good topic. Because you don't know how many people out there right now would have had a different life if somebody just would have been in their life doing that simple, small stuff.
Yeah, and we talking about the men. So we need more men
to actually be men instead of.
We need more men teaching men. So
exactly,
that's what we need.
Not old school guys with that old school rhetoric to pretty much just be like, nah, like you get cut, rub dirt on it. Don't like.
To be honest, I think this stems back in the black and brown community, I think it stems back to slavery. And why I say it stems back
You
to,
can put it there.
I think it stems back to that because we had to, as black men, really show no emotion because we went through so much. You feel what I'm saying? Just to get where we could feed our families. Like, don't, like, I'm not gonna say they didn't love their kids, they didn't love their wife or anything. They just had to be built a certain way. You know what I'm saying? They had to make sure their kids didn't like their sons didn't emotionally like just break down in situations like they went through a
Yeah.
lot. You see me tied up and I'm getting beat with whips. Don't show them that you weak, that bothers you. Stand up strong, and I'm gonna stand up strong and stand up, and you know what I'm saying, take my beating if I did wrong. You stand up strong and you watch. You feel what I'm saying? We just kind of built this type of this like real strong type man, like, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of fit the times. You feel what I'm saying?
I
Like,
get it. I get that. But don't you think as the world change, education change,
mm-hmm.
like things should have changed? You know what I'm saying?
But it didn't. Just like racism didn't leave. You know what I'm saying? And because that was one of the, and I think because that's part of the reason, because we still had to tell our, in the black and brown community, we still had to tell our kids, our men, our young men, don't back down from, at the time would be our oppressors. Don't back down. Don't show no emotion. Always stand tall. Be strong. Don't be afraid of nothing, nobody. And it was because we was dealing with situations in the Jim Crow era, segregation, uh, slavery, and all those things, to the point where you probably had fathers not emotionally hugging their sons, kissing their sons, because they felt like, hey, we got business to take care of. I got to do this for my family. It was a move where you made a manly move for your family, but it took away the time that you would necessarily need to show your son. You know what I'm saying? That time of emotional. You could vent to your son a little bit, tell him what to do, what not to do. It was absent, and I believe it was absent because of the stuff that we was dealing with. And like I said, the racism and things still carried on to today. So we still, from grandfather down to son, down to dad, down to keep going. We still had to be this tough guy. Don't back down from nothing. Stand tall. Stand on your own 10. And you know what I'm saying? Keep going from there. And I think it just trickled down from that far.
So now the question is, how do you balance it? How do you balance the stand stand 10 toes and then show the love and support that's needed
Self
for your
evaluation.
young?
Self evaluation. Stand on your own. Stand
I
on your
mean,
own. Stand on your own 10, but know who you are. Know who you are. If you know who you are, that's all that matters. And the only way you know that is if you self evaluate.
okay, that's for like an older person. I'm saying as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
how is that kid going to do that?
Well,
How is a kid going to see you? Well, they look at you and you're doing that. You're self-evaluating.
mm-hmm.
You're pondering thoughts before you speak. You're actually trying to do the right things, but yet, I mean, nobody's perfect, but
Mm-hmm.
yet you flip out and then they see it and they've been like, okay, well, I seen he did that
Mm-hmm.
in this situation. So when I get in a situation like that, I'm gonna just do that same thing just because. You know what I'm saying? That's what I seen.
You gotta be you gotta be mindful of what you do in front of kids in general, but also as a man, you got to be mindful of what you show another young man. And if you want your young man to be a certain way, and you wanna make sure you try to change the narrative, you got to make sure you set that good example. The only way you can do that and set that example is if you self-evaluate yourself. If you know who you are, stand on that, and it's like, all right, look, my emotions got the best of me in this one. I lashed out. I did this. I did that. But you go back and you apologize, because you go back and apologize to
Okay.
whoever you lashed out on, because, and you make sure your son or kids, whoever, know that, because what happens at that point is you show that, hey, anger is, you can lash out, and anger is something that's going to happen, but you got to be the bigger man to be able to say, look, I got to put my pride to the side, stand up as a man and what I believe in and who I am and apologize, square that off, and then let your sons and stuff, move on from there. See that and move on from there.
Okay, that's a good response.
I
See,
think.
my thinking is pretty much say a situation do happen and it's something I just can't help. Anger just pop up. Putting myself in a situation like that, knowing me, I might just lose it because I don't know. I never grew up having a temper. I was always a quiet dude, but in a situation where I feel ignorance is around, that's when I lose it. And bro, I don't know. It's probably wrong, but that's something I'm teaching my kids. Like, bro, if something ignorant, remove yourself away from it, but speak how you feel towards that ignorance. Like,
well, yeah,
that's another thing. Speaking how you feel. Like, I feel you definitely got to get that off your chest because some people, if you keep that on them, only thing that's going to do is just make something worse. So you got to get it off your chest right then and there. And I believe if something ignorant happened, yeah, pride's going to come in. But now I'm trying to like dial that down and pretty much put logic into it and be like, okay, I'm gonna speak how I feel without pride.
Well, I think it all boils down to how you say it. No, how you say it, how you say things. No, you always got to be aware, and this is where I try to keep myself a lot, and I understand because I feel like you got so much power, bro. The man, the brain, just anything. You just have so much power. When you take the time to know who you are and evaluate who you are, just think about you in a situation. And then I'm not saying anger and lashing out can't happen, and it can. Like I said, you just got to be the bigger man, set pride to the side, go back and apologize, fix the situation. But 9 times out of 10, if you spend enough time in your Bible, if you spend enough time meditating, and when I say meditating, you don't got to be like,
yeah, I get what you're saying.
But just really like just giving yourself time to let everything go and just relax your brain, relax your mind, everything. So at that point, when you're in a situation where you are dealing with someone who's ignorant or doing this or doing that or whatever.
See, but that's another thing.
You're gonna be in that space. You're gonna be like, okay, I understand what's going on right now. This person obviously don't know what's going on or saying whatever, hurting, maybe trying to say things that hurt my family, hurt my feelings, whatever the case may be. Try to understand the situation. Okay. How did it get to the situation? Okay. Calmly try to settle things without lashing out. If it can't be to the point where it's something triggered your brain just to lash out, like I said, you always go back and apologize, be the bigger man, because that's something that can possibly happen. But if you do take the time, stand on your 10, you know what I'm saying, know who you are, you will be in a good position to be able to escalate just about anything. And I feel like that's the truth because I'm usually, I play football, right? And we don't really never have like situations where people want to fight me, but people do want to fight all the time on the field. It's like they get their pride hurt, their feelings hurt from just getting mossed or whatever the case may be. But you have some people, like I had somebody one time, I stepped on his toes, and it's football. You got on cleats, your toes get stepped on, and I was in good coverage too. The thing is, he walked away and told me to shut up. I'm looking at, it's a smaller dude, it's a smaller dude. I'm just a small example. I was looking at this, I was looking like, shut up. You know how disrespectful it is? Like he telling me, man, we did boo, boo, boo. I'm like, bro, it's football. Why are you complaining? Blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to stay calm. Man, it's football. What do you mean? Stepping your foot, that's common, whatever. Man, shut up. You tell me to shut up, bro. I'm a grown man. You don't tell me to shut up. I'm a grown man just like you is. So at that point, I snapped. I didn't think. I snapped. I started going at him, bro. You know what I'm saying? I started going at him. And then the thing is, it's like, I seen him again. I seen him again, and I kindly addressed the situation, not with an apology, but as like, hey, yo, bro, good game, man. Good game. Good job. You know what I'm saying? Like pretty much letting him know whatever happened between me and you, that means nothing to me. That's I'm not holding no grudges. I'm not holding on to that. You won't see me lash out in frustration against you because something that happened on the field and I felt some type of way about it. That's gone now. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew who I am, and we're gonna keep it moving. So that's less frustration on me, stress on me, or anything on me now because I just was able to let that go. You gotta let things go when you're a man. You just start letting things go and stop being so strong and tough, in my opinion.
I feel like pettiness is a big thing in the man as well.
No, petty shouldn't be in a man.
No, oh wait, bruh, it's so many men, especially new generation men, like 20s
Raised,
and up.
raised by women.
I mean, I was raised by a woman, but I ain't petty. I mean,
Same, but what I'm saying is that's when those tendencies come from. That's what I'm saying. I mean, we both was raised by women. I'm not saying you're gonna be petty just because you're raised by one, but 9 times out of 10, you will be petty if you're raised by a woman. If you're raised by men, 9 times out of 10, if he was raised by a man, pettiness is not something that's in your
just
vocabulary. You're gonna
talk,
spend,
yeah.
you're taught to stand on business as a man and not be a coward, not petty.
But nowadays, there's so many dudes. Like in that situation, bro, there's so many dudes whether took the extreme
Mm-hmm.
and was ready to die for it.
Yeah.
Just they think it's respect. They confuse respect for just like you said, just something that you just should forget about.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody stepping on your shoes. How many people how many people died back in the day like for somebody stepping on shoes, bro?
People die for dumb stuff like that because we
And
can't let stuff go.
they pride. They don't
Yeah,
want to seem like a punk. They don't want to seem like
people die in the black and brown community just for looking at somebody wrong.
that's it's a lot of things to get into with emotions and pride with
Mm-hmm.
people in our community just cause like they don't I don't know, it's weak. Weak is the big word in getting played. You don't want to feel like nobody plays you. You
Yeah.
don't want to feel weak.
Yeah.
And that's stuff that needs to get taken out of pretty much like that need to get plucked out of their mind. I feel like
It definitely does.
because like if you keep living a life like that, bro, it's like you always going to be on the swivel. You're always going to have those negative emotions. You're always going to have a bunch of pride. You're always going to have anger. It's like you're always going to have the most negative emotions inside of you if you have pretty much that way of thinking. And that's the crazy thing about it. Instead of sitting down there and like how you said, coming back and be like, yo, whatever happened on the field, stayed on the field, good game, whatever.
Yeah.
Just put in the life situation. Like you said, somebody in the club step in your shoes. Instead of saying, my bad, brother, keep it going. Some people going to say my bad, and some people still going to keep that, oh, he's still trying to play me because he stepped in my shoes. He seen my foot. Like, and that's the ignorance that I think we need to get rid of pretty much in our community. And it's tough.
Yeah, but I mean, somebody like me, I'm different, bro. Like somebody like me, I kind of like I got people that call me passive and I got people that call me humble. I can go through situations where you would think that I should stand up as a man and be like, no, that ain't going down like that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna fight, fade, whatever, we're gonna do whatever. I walk away from the situation like, man, it is what it is. And the reason why is because like I know who I am. I'm not trying to indulge in none of that dumb crap for whatever reason. Who I gotta prove? Well, I gotta prove to you. Me and you gotta catch a fade for me to say that, hey, I'm a bigger man because I beat you up or you beat me up or we got in this fight in a shootout. I'm just gonna leave the situation. All right, look, you won that. I don't care. Shoot, I'm going back to making money. I'm going back to living my life the way I was regularly living it. You go over there and do what you gotta do. And if you feel some type of way, and that's the problem with a lot of people, and we lose a lot of black people in the black and brown community simply because you got people who inherit like beefs and wars from like their fathers and their brothers and their cousins because they're hurt. You feel what I'm saying? You may have lost a friend or something and y'all hurt and y'all feel like, man, I gotta go hurt somebody else. But if the person that did the hurting would just be like, you know what, look, I let my emotions get the best of me or whatever the case may be, I apologize. Like we shouldn't be out here killing one another. That's stupid. We out here killing one another. We shouldn't be out here killing one another. No one's gonna ever step up and do that because
I'm about to say, you know, the crazy thing you just said, that somebody gonna hear that and be like, "Oh, that nigga weak."
yeah, no, bro. Look,
Like, that's crazy, bro.
you
That's
know,
crazy, bro.
to think about it, you know how now this would be hard for me. You know how hard it'll be for me to have somebody that I know get killed by somebody and me not want to retaliate for somebody that I love. For me to put that to the side, I'll be like, bro, they gotta feel that because you can't do that. You can't take somebody away from me that I love
Right,
and
boy,
not
right,
want to come back. But to be able to be like, look, this is this thing called life. And as a man, I got to understand that you also are a leader, like you said, to your sons. You also are a leader to other young men, other young brothers and stuff. Don't keep the trend going. Let your event, you know what I'm saying? Let that person know that did the harm. Man, look, this is going to be tough, bro. Now, this would be something tough. You let that person know that you forgive them, and you let that person know it ain't gonna be nothing no more after that. Y'all gonna go on with life. You know what I'm saying? You wish them the best. That's something that a man that I don't know no man who probably can possibly do that right now. But at the end of the day, that's a step of showing like, look, we going in this direction now. We doing a whole 180, changing the narrative on how a man should express himself. Let's spend less time on trying to hurt one another and build one another up. A lot of people ain't gonna try to build one another up. You know what I'm saying? That's the tough part. Like, who you vent to? You're supposed to go vent to your wife. 9 times out of 10, you don't want to. You don't want to vent to your wife because it's like either she gonna disagree or she just gonna agree and not really even pay attention or listen. And that's how I feel sometimes with my wife. And my wife feels sometimes that way with me. Like she ain't want to vent to me because I'm just gonna let it go in one ear and not the other. At the end of the day, though, if you spend that time reading and you spend that time self-evaluating yourself, you will be able to let all that go and clear your brain to think like, man, look, it ain't nothing worth it. The only thing that's worth it is who I am, what my goals are, and take care of business.
That's so important. And I was just thinking about it. Like, let's take it and look at it from a religious standpoint.
Got it.
That's our job as a follower of Christ to pretty much, like, that whole way of thinking that we was taught, that we grew up around. Like, you take one of mine, I gotta get back at you.
Yeah.
You definitely supposed to turn the cheek on that.
You're supposed to turn the cheek on that.
You definitely supposed to turn the cheek on that, but at the same time, seek out that brother and pretty much help him get that weight up. Whatever he was feeling, help him get that weight off his shoulder.
Facts.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
that's hard. That's whole hard. Ooh,
that is hard. That's hard, but that's the right way.
That's the right way.
If you're trying to, I feel like that's the true sign of a man. Like, a man gonna put his feelings to the side and do the right thing.
Do the right thing. Yeah. Do the right thing. It's not always easy.
Doing the right thing is not easy, because especially on situations like that. Like, bro, it's so many times in my head I've been like, bro, niggas in York walling. What if somebody just come up and get my brother?
Yeah.
I'm pissed. Right away, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I think, bro, when I used to think about that junk, this was a couple of years ago. I used to think about when you first moved out there. I was scared to death you moved. I was like, bro, this nigga about to go out there. Niggas don't know him. They gonna be walling. Bro, somebody do something to my brother. I swear I'm gonna flip out. I think about my brother down here, Drake, bro. If something happened to that nigga, I'll be like, bro, I might have to do something just because I know his bro. That's my family.
That's your family.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But
that's the person you love.
At the same time, that's not the way it should go. And me and him was just talking about that the other day. Was like, bro, that's exactly why this stuff happened. You take somebody I love, I gotta go. No, you gotta feel that. And I'm like, I was just listening to it thinking like, that's not how it should be. Yeah. But I see where you're coming from. That's not how it should be, though.
It's the easiest way for a man to express his feelings, by
retaliation.
Yeah. Showing retaliation. And that anger and frustration, everything builds up. Instead of, I mean, in the 9 times out of 10, that person not even gonna cry in front of nobody. Because I can tell you right now, from what we was raised, I knew this from a young age. I was 12. I think I was 12 years old when Granddad died. I ain't crying in front of nobody. But I went into the shop and cried by myself. But I ain't crying in front of nobody else. I even went to the funeral and didn't even cry. I ain't crying in front of nobody. Because it was like, I don't want nobody to see me crying. I don't want nobody to see me crying. Nope, ain't nobody can't see me cry.
Still to this day, I feel that way.
Still to this day. Bro, I remember when like when it happened, that same morning I was told my granddad passed away. Everybody was in grandma's house. I left out the house, went into the shop where he was at and everything. After they had took him out, and I cried in the shop by myself. Cried. Went back into the house, face all cleaned up, and like I did nothing. Nobody ever seen me cry no more. I only cried that one time. I cried one time, and I ain't never cried no more. I ain't never let anybody see me cry. Funeral came, everybody crying. I remember seeing everybody crying and stuff. I just was standing there. You ain't cry either. Matter of fact, did you? You cried. You cried.
I don't even remember.
Yep, I remember. You cried. I didn't cry. I ain't let nobody see me cry, bro. Couldn't do it. It was just one of those things that was like, man, I'm a man. I'm a tough. I got to do this. I don't show no emotion.
See, my pride was just about to come out just now. I was like, bro, don't call me soft, bro.
But look, I had the same situation when I lost a homie back in school. This was like 2000 and.
I remember, yeah.
2006. My homeboy, God bless his soul, Cash from Ridgeville, he died in a car accident. Him and his mom on the way to school. And I remember everybody walking down the hall, people crying and stuff. And my eyes wanted to water up. You know what I did when I see my homies? I started acting like a clown. And it was my way of like not showing them my emotions. I didn't want to show them that I was crying because I lost my homie. You know what I'm saying? Everybody lost a friend. I mean, we wasn't the closest, but we was close enough. We grew up together throughout school and sometimes out of school. But instead of me crying, when my eyes water up, close my eyes, start acting like a clown. Tears went away. You see a clown. Why be trying to act like a clown? Everybody sat and crying. I ain't want to show nobody that. I ain't want to show nobody I'm crying. So it was just dang going. It was just who I was taught to be. Don't be out here crying. Don't be no soft nigga, what we like to call it. You know what I'm saying? Don't be no soft. And that's another thing, man. Like another thing. I had one of my homies. He'd be like, bro, what are you saying dude all the time? Dude. Like, bro, do I gotta say nigga all the time? You know what I'm saying? Do I got, and if you don't, you don't fit in. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, bro, that's how we was raised, but that's not how I gotta go. You feel what I'm saying? That's respect.
Definitely, we gotta change. We gotta change that.
Yeah,
we gotta change that. Like, I get it. Like,
bro, it's programmed now, bro. Like, I say it like
it really is. Like, I tell my wife this all the time, bro. I'm like, bro, that don't sound good, bro. That don't sound good. Saying that junk all the time. Yeah. Like, I'm a manager. How I sound like might slip out and be like, nigga, what? Like, how that sound?
Yeah, you won't say that. You won't say it at work though. For some odd reason, like,
bro, I promise you, it's easy. It easily slip out just because it's in my vocabulary. It easy slip out.
Not for me. I know my crowd. I know who I'm talking to, so I know not for me.
The people that's under, like, I work with, it's like my age, so I'm like, that easily slip out.
So this, like I said, this was a great topic. So let me dish out a little information on where I'm at right now. Feel me? I just started reading. So I started the other night getting back into my Bible, but I just also started reading a book called The 48 Laws of Power. So I recommend everybody
and their mama recommended that book.
You read that book already?
No.
Okay, I recommend everybody read it. It's pretty decent. It's pretty dope. And one of the things I've taken from it right now so far is to like never underestimate your opponent. You know what I'm saying? So as a man, you know what I'm saying, I think that we need to, like, for instance, if we got a situation where we're going up against a man who's frustrated, mad, angry, whatever, throwing this at us, throwing at us, and instead of dishing the same energy back, dish out some different energy. Hey man, I feel your frustration, I feel your anger, bro. Let's dead dish right now, man. Nothing ain't worth it. Nobody's worth losing their life in the jail or either to the cemetery. And what can we, you know what I'm saying? Just pretty much flip the whole script, change the whole narrative on who you are and who we should be in the Black and brown community. Because obviously we've been all taught the wrong way. You feel what I'm saying? A man, a man should be able to express his feelings to his wife, to his brother, to his son, to a friend, to a neighbor, to a stranger. Why? Why should he be able to do that? Because that doesn't make him any less of a man. It only allows him to free himself of some kind of emotion that may be bothering him that could trigger to his stress and his frustration and his anger and just pretty much his pride and losing out on just pretty much everything. So if you my homie and I'm your homie or whatever, it don't even matter. If you're a stranger to me and right now I'm going through some things, be like, man, look, can I talk to you for a minute? Do you got an ear? Do you got some advice? All right, so I'm going through this, man. That don't make me feel like this. You feel what I'm saying? I don't need you, man. Get out of here with all that weak. Be understanding. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just that's just what it should be like for us people, man. Our people, Black and brown. But we knew that's a long way, and we knew that probably ain't gonna happen for like a lot of people. But at the end of the day, if you're watching this video and you watch the Kickback, shout out to my boy Fly to Kill for this dope topic and this dope show. But if you are watching this, man, for real, man, just change the narrative. A man should be able to express his emotions and his feelings to just about anybody. And if someone wants to express his emotions and feelings to you, be an open ear, be understanding. Also, send a word of encouragement and motivation. Inspire somebody. That's the greatest thing you can give to somebody is inspire them. And that's what I would do.
You feel that's me? A clip right there. That's a clip.
That's dope.
That whole montage was a clip. That's a clip. That should be the short. That should be the short.
Stamp it.
That should be a short. That should be a short right there. Let me write that down. But yeah, but definitely, I took two things from that. Understanding, because Brittany been hounding me about understanding. We do a little Bible study, try to do a Bible study together. Understanding, because she been like, that's one thing I lack. And pretty much she sees me all the time. So she knows what I lack and she knows pretty much what I need to work on spiritually. But understanding, she said I lack understanding.
Understanding. You need to understand.
With everybody, she says I lack understanding. It's always my way. She said I'm a narcissist. Like, it's my way. I think how I want to think. And I'm trying to change that. Like, I'm trying to actually, like you said, sit back and evaluate the situation. Yeah. So this topic was big. Like I said, this topic was big for me just because I definitely needed to pretty much get it out there that pretty much I know a lot. Like you said, a lot of people may be going through this and probably just need to just vent and need probably to change something. But once again, one thing that's helping me, like you said, know your opponent. You got to figure out who your opponent is first. And I feel like the biggest opponent we're all going through is, well, we all facing is self.
Yeah.
Because pretty much everybody like to say, oh, the devil busy, devil busy. Nah, you got to think about it. Like, the devil can't bother you if you don't allow yourself to get involved with the devil. You know what I'm saying? If you stay 10 toes down for the right things, you ain't got to worry about something coming in trying to trip you up. I mean, yeah, stuff going to tempt you, but if you stay 10 toes, you already know who your enemy is. You already know how powerful he is. You can always beat that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that right there that was huge. Them two things you said, the opponent and pretty much understanding, I smacked them together because that's like the biggest things I took away just from that last little thing that should be clipped and should be the short. So yeah, man, this was a good episode, man. This was good. This was good. It was real good, man. Hopefully I can come up with some more banger topics. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah, shout out to Kickback. Shout out to Kickback. This is a dope show.
Yeah, man. But hey, if you guys are here in the period of the video, thank you guys for listening. Hope we helped somebody. Hopefully, we gave you some words of encouragement. Please, just like we said, just pretty much for all the men, please just get rid of some things and do things different, especially pride. Get rid of pride. Get rid of your old ways of thinking. That's the hardest thing. Get rid of from what you was taught, because we know that's not the ways what we should be. It's all about growing to see something bigger and better get built. And us as a community, Black and brown, like he said, we need to get better and grow as a community. So that's the biggest thing. But yeah, that's all I got to say. You got something else to say?
I got nothing to say, man. You ended on a perfect note, bro.
Well, this was episode 4 of the Kickback. Please like, share, subscribe, and everybody, like, yeah, keep your heads up, keep your faith, and we out.
We out.